Hello there, welcome back. I'm Giddy Titan here. I just want to talk a little bit about the whole COPPA thing. It may be of interest to some of my viewers because some of them have YouTube channels of their own and they may not have heard about this, but you will have seen the YouTube requirement to now specify whether your content is directed at children or not. Children being people under the age of 13. And this comes down to the result, well, part of the Google stuff is the result of a judgment by the FTC, or a settlement with the FTC, never actually went to court, where Google agreed to pay $170 million to take some corrective measures because they have been found, or they have been alleged to have served ads to children, collected persistent information on children, and serve targeted ads, use that information to serve targeted ads to children when they're reviewing child-friendly content or children's-orientated content on YouTube. I will have links in the description to the FTC judgment and to the FTC press conference, which I think is well worth a watch by anyone who has a YouTube channel. The gist of it is that, among other things, you were required to specify. Now, all YouTube users are considered operators for the purposes of COPPA, and they're required to specify whether they are creating content targeted at children. And the guidelines are pretty damn ambiguous. I'm not even sure if a lawyer could tell you exactly how these guidelines will play out. One of the things, though, that is worth looking at the press conference is that it is clear that the FTC understands the difference between stuff orientated at children and stuff that is child-friendly, that is not actually directed at children, but is actually directed at adults, but children might watch. And could watch without any problems. You know, there wouldn't be any language or, say, violence or whatever issues or problems. Now, while at a basic level I think my stuff would be probably child-friendly in the sense that I don't think it would be a problem with children watching it. I don't think I would have a problem with children watching it anyway. However, World of Warships and World of Tanks are actually in a kind of an ambiguous position because their ESRB, which is the American rating, are teen. And their PEGI, their European rating, is PEGI 7, which is suitable for 7 years and older. So that, combined with the fact that I never intended to make this channel and the content of it for children, I actually intended it in the beginning for an older audience, made me uncomfortable, say, declaring that my content was for children. And Google were given the option of allowing people to set 3 options, that they could set the stuff as orientated for children, child-friendly, and or adult only. But Google have only chosen to give us 2 options. The third thing that is clear if you watch the FTC's press conference on the matter, and especially if you look also some of the legal channels discussions of the matter. So there's a couple of legal channels. Hoeg Law in particular seems to have a lot of stuff, some of which I'm still working my way through. Have a lot of legal stuff on the matter, and they seem to be, well, you must be commercial. So that is, your YouTube content must be directed at children and it must be commercial. So you must be making money out of it, either directly from YouTube by ad revenue or by sponsorships, or you are an advertising arm of a toy company or something like Hasbro or Disney or some crowd like that that makes stuff orientated at children. So if you're running a My Little Pony website and you're owned by Hasbro, then even though you might not be making monetized, you are directed your target audience as children, and you're basically advertising Hasbro product. So you'd fall under the COPPA. But if you're not commercial, or if you're not targeting towards children, or both, then you're okay. You're not going to be in the targets of the FTC. And one of the things to remember is that the FTC if they're going to go after your website, are going to look at it. People are going to look at it. It's not going to be purely done by an algorithm and automatically decided. They've got to make a case that will stand up in court. So in my personal case, now I would emphasize here again, I'm not a lawyer, this is only my personal opinion, but in my personal case, I'm not monetized. I am not showing any signs of growing to the point where I'd become monetized. And as far as I can make out, my audience, insofar as I can see demographics, are mostly at the older end of the spectrum. I don't usually get reliable demographic information. In fact, if I looked at my current Google Analytics, I don't see any. I've been told both for age and gender that my demographic information is insufficient to produce any data. I am going to insert a disclaimer in all my videos that it's not suitable for an audience of 13 or under, because I want to emphasize this fact that I'm not actually targeting a child audience, that I'm not necessarily making kid-friendly material, and partly I'm doing that because I don't want to attract the attention of the FTC. I want to be clear that my channel is not targeted at children, but also because the fact that when I checked out the actual ratings of stuff that I prominently show, which would be World of Tanks, World of Warships, Legends, World of Tanks, Mercenaries, both of them have ESRB ratings of teen. The fact that they have European PEGI ratings might necessarily help in the US legal domain. So I wouldn't want to declare it as kid-friendly simply because the content matter underneath it isn't necessarily considered kid-friendly in the US. Plus, a lot of the other games, Valkyria Chronicles is rated 16, PEGI 16, and is teen in the US. For Triumph and Gloomhaven, I've shown some Gloomhaven, for instance, aren't actually rated yet because they've not been released, I guess. And it's quite possible that other stuff that I've shown in the past are probably teen and upward rated as well. I would urge, though, that anybody who watches my channel, who has a YouTube channel of their own, actually inform themselves on these matters. Check out the links in the description. I will have a link to the FTC's judgment and to the FTC press conference. At the very minimum, I think you should watch that. I'll also link to a video that Jim Sterling did on the matter, and a link to the Hoeg Law website, where they have a whole playlist, of which I've only watched a small handful of videos, and which I intend to watch the rest at some point, and to keep yourself informed on this particular topic, because I don't think we've seen the last of it yet. I'm not 100% sure that what Google are currently doing will be considered sufficient, and there'll be more fallout from this over the course of 2020. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please press like, comment, share. It really helps the channel out. And if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the channel. I will catch you all again soon. Bye for now.